want to touch base again with our Republican Democratic political analysts, Kevin Eckery and Robin Swanson. Robin, if we can start with you first of all, as we move forward to South Carolina, thinking about Bernie Sanders, he's supposed to have a sit-down tomorrow morning in New York, in Harlem, with the Reverend Al Sharpton, a black activist, former news anchor on MSNBC. What's going on there?
Listen, Bernie Sanders is really great at communicating to disaffected voters and to positioning himself as an outsider. So he will continue to be able to do that. But Hillary Clinton has had a ground campaign and done lots of time in South Carolina. This isn't the first time that she's visited there. And she does have a really diverse following. So I think that's going to be an uphill climb for him. But that Hillary's campaign is really looking forward to moving on from New Hampshire.
You said that word that we've been hearing all night, outsider. And with that, Kevin, I mean, you look at these two candidates, very different. Donald Trump, a billionaire, a businessman, Bernie Sanders having this kind of ground roots campaign, but they're both on that same page of, look, we got to make change. We got to do something different here. What is your takeaway with how that's going to work out as we move forward onto the next state?
Well, I think you hit part of the nail on the head, which is that Donald Trump is a candidate who's expressing people's feelings, and he's successfully captured a lot of the anger and frustration that people have had coming out of the so-called Great Recession. But I think that one of the other interesting factors that came out of New Hampshire was that the so-called establishment candidates aren't dead yet. That you've got Kasich, who is finishing a strong second. You've got Bush, who is doing very well. You've got Marco Rubio, who is now below Senator Cruz. So it's very interesting the way people are jockeying, and I think that it's clear that the campaign isn't over. It's absolutely not going to be Donald Trump in a cakewalk, and it's going to be some pretty hard-fought primaries from here on out.
Robin, does Hillary need a big win in South Carolina?
She needs some momentum. I think it's really interesting at these beginning states. Again, these are not a lot of delegates. This is not a big proportion of the United States of America. But she does need the perception that her campaign is doing well, that she is connecting with voters. So she needs a win. She needs a good victory. But again, let's not forget she did win Iowa. So I think that's important. But I also think it's important to count. She doesn't need to be the bean counter, but her campaign needs to start counting electoral votes. And again, look ahead to those SEC states where there's going to be a ton of votes on Super Tuesday.
So let's look ahead now. I mean, we have the primaries, we have these votes in. Kevin, as you look ahead now to the next stop, what is going to be the game plan, and who do you suspect is going to get big donations coming in and kind of switch gears a little bit?
Well, money is always important. You take Governor Christie. He spent virtually all of his money trying to make a good show in North Carolina, and he's finishing 6th. Not good for him. Carly Fiorina doesn't have very much money left. Not good for her. Ben Carson, his resources are dwindling. He'll certainly stay in through South Carolina. In fact, there's a good chance many of them will stay through to South Carolina because that election's just coming up on the 20th. But after the 20th, you're going to start seeing those so-called establishment candidates, those governors, begin to winnow down. Somebody is going to have to come in from the party and speak for sort of the establishment to say, guys, 3 of you can't keep moving forward. You're going to have to select one, and if you can't select them, we will.
Yeah, so a bit of a long slog ahead still. The battle continues. Kevin Eckery and Robin Swanson, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thanks.